Hey YouTube, Manifest Presents here. I'm going to do a little review of the new trailer that came out for Yahoo Movies. The link is in the details, so check that out. If you haven't seen it, watch that first, then come back to this. This might be a little spoiler, so if you don't want to know too much about the movie and what might happen, don't watch the rest of this video. I'm a Green Lantern fan, and I kind of feel like a jerk just ruining it for you because, you know, I'm excited about the movie. Honestly, I've been a Green Lantern fan since before Green Lantern got big with Blackest Night and whole Sinestro Corps Wars. I was actually a fan from watching Super Friends. Jeff Johns has just been doing an amazing job to get Green Lantern back on the map and just becoming a big contender to be one of those big superhero names that you know. So let's get started with this review of the video. You just see stuff that you've already seen before. You see, you know, Sinestro come down and he talks to the Corps. Great shot of him just looking up, what I believe to be him looking up to the Guardians. Then you just see a good shot of what I thought was a Green Lantern ring, but then by the next shot you see, in this next shot you see a Guardian in the left-hand corner. What seems to be just, he's floating to this yellow element. Then you see a shot again of the Green Lantern Corps, which is always cool. Then you see what seems to be the cloud of Parallax coming through to Earth, which is kind of like Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, when they did the whole Galactus cloud. But a lot of people were disappointed because all you saw was a cloud. In this, I think the Parallax cloud will actually take form and you'll see Parallax, which is awesome. And then you see a better shot of Abin's sword. Him, what looks to be like he's just in the escape pod. You see another shot of his ring. The ring looks cool. Then he escapes, of course. He takes the escape pod to Earth, where he, you know, spends his final minutes of his life basically explaining to Hal his duties as a Green Lantern. And he's been chosen to join the Green Lantern Corps, which is awesome. Which I always thought was a cool exchange between them. And then here goes Hal, you know, doing the little funny, he doesn't know the oath, so he does his little, you know, I pledge allegiance to. Then he goes to Oa, and that's when the trailer gets even more exciting. They scan Hal Jordan's body. You see his, what seems to be veins and all that cool stuff inside of his body, which is awesome. Then you get a close-up of his mask and his eyes, which a lot of people aren't happy about the mask. I personally, I'm not too really happy about it. I think they should have used, you know, some kind of prosthetic mask and just did it like that. I'm not even happy about the CGI costume, but I mean, I understand why they did that. I understand it. You see two Green Lanterns flying together, which I think is Tomari and Hal, because in a later shot you'll see Tomari and Hal flying to Oa. And then this is a cool shot of, you know, Tomari showing Hal, you know, how to use the ring, and the limits are only what you can imagine, which is an awesome line. By the way, the voice to play Tomari is this actor. You might know him from Pirates of the Caribbean. Amazing actor, amazing voice. And then right here is what you see, the little training exercise between Hal and Sinestro, which is cool because Hal, you know, he makes a sword and he feels so proud about it, but then Sinestro, you know, does his little, oh, human. And then he pulls out with the two swords, and then they have a little exchange. And obviously, Hal's not too experienced with the rings, so he doesn't win that exchange at all. And then you see Kilowog give him a hand. You think, oh, you know, Kilowog's a nice guy. He's a trainer, but he's also a nice guy. But that's not really Kilowog's style. Kilowog gives him a nice little punch to the face, and he gives you a little reminder that your enemy is not going to play fair. And that just sounds like Kilowog. Also, the voice is played by this actor. I personally didn't like Michael Clark Duncan as Kilowog because when I hear Kilowog, I don't hear Michael Clark Duncan. When I'm reading the comic or anything, I don't hear Michael Clark Duncan. This is where the trailer goes towards Hector Hammond. You see he picks up the yellow element, then he starts to get some changes. And this shot right here just reminds me of The Fly. I don't know if you remember that movie. A great movie, by the way. He gets a little headache, his head starts to grow, and then you got a shot of him yelling in a lab, which in any movie, anyone yelling in a lab, epic. And then his eyes turn yellow, which I think he might want to get that checked because I don't think that's healthy. People might complain like how big his head is, but this is not that bad actually. If you see the comic book now, how huge his head is, it's bigger than his body, so I wouldn't really be complaining about this because if they did it like the comic book, then it'd be 10 times worse. And then this is the clip that I told you about, Tomari and Hal Jordan flying to Oa, and then maybe that's where they fly down to that little tunnel thing that you saw. For superheroes that fly, they always have their little flying moment to get away from the world. Like Superman had it, Iron Man had it. In this picture, it's very Superman-esque. In this picture, it's very Iron Man-esque. It's just a good thing to have, you know, that little moment for the character to just feel free for a second, and then let the bodies hit the floor. And then this is a cool shot of Hector Hamill's eyes. If you look really close, really close, that looks like a Sinestro Corps symbol. Here goes another shot of Hal. So this is a shot of him going down. And then you got a shot of Mr. Hector, Big Head Hamill over here. And then here goes another shot of Sinestro. He looks like he just jumped out of the pages. Looks awesome. His head's not too big. It's not too small. It's just right. And then this shot, if you look really close, Hal is reaching for something, the skeleton of Hector Hamill, because that skeleton has a huge freaking head. And Parallax is just in the background. If you look further into the video, I think this is why I think Parallax took Hector Hamill's life by absorbing the yellow element. There's a later shot that you'll see what I'm talking about. And then this is another shot of his face. A lot of people, like I said, aren't really too thrilled about the mask. And then there goes the cloud overtaking the city. A Green Lantern in the middle of just a whole bunch of Guardians. They did this weird effect with the Guardian's head. Because if you see, the Guardians have a big head, and then they have this big long robe, which I'm afraid they're going to look like jellyfish in the movie, which is not fun, because they're not supposed to look like jellyfish, they're supposed to look like Guardians. Definitely one of the changes in the movie that I'm not really too thrilled about. At least they put the Guardians in there as close as possible. Similar to it, but not exactly to a T. And then, you know, Hal Jordan asks him, please help me save my planet, Captain Planet. And this is the shot that I was talking about earlier, where Parallax takes Hector Hamill's life force, which looks like it's pretty much just yellow element. And then, you know, this is where Hal asks them to fight the battle with him to save his planet. And here's another shot of the Guardians, which, once again, their head looks transparent or something, like an orb around it. I don't know what that is. It looks like kind of like a jellyfish effect or something. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait to see when the movie comes out to see what's going on with that. This is where Sinestro does his little pep talk, which is always cool in every trailer that I see. And then this is a shot of Kilowog and Tomari. Kilowog didn't come out exactly how I wanted him to. Like, he looks like a rhino, but that's cool. That's actually pretty cool. He's not too far from how he looks in the comic books, but he's just a little, like, slight, small changes to his face and stuff, but just a great job all around of how they made him look. Then here goes Kilowog shooting a beam. I think that's in a training exercise, but it's a good, you know, it's a good shot to put in the climax of the trailer. And then this seems to be Hal in front of the sun, or it can be him in front of that, you know, that big yellow Sinestro Corps thing that we saw before. Big yellow Sinestro Corps symbol thing where maybe Parallax is trying to get to, or where he came from. But later it makes me lead to believe that it is the sun, because you just see some debris going into that sun. Or it could be Parallax. Maybe it's, you know, wrapping around Hal and just trying to get into that yellow element that you see the Guardian by. Or maybe it's just the sun. Who knows? And then here goes Parallax taking over the city again. Then here goes Hector Hamill close up. He really needs to get some Clearasil and some Proactive, because he seems to have a lot of pimples. And I think it would be funny to see Hector Hamill in a Proactive commercial, because you've seen Jessica Simpson and Kim Kardashian, and then all of a sudden, hey, Hector Hamill. You may know me from Green Lantern comic books. What's up? Then here goes Hal making a construct. You don't know what it is yet, and then all of a sudden you find out it's a flamethrower, but then you're like, hey, it's a Green Lantern flamethrower, so it's only going to shoot out green stuff. It's not going to shoot out real flames. And then all of a sudden he shoots out real flames, and you're like, oh my god, run. And then here goes a shot of what I believe Hal leaving Earth, and Parallax either shooting a beam out. This is a theory that I squashed right away, because it doesn't go exactly. It kind of looked in the beginning when I first saw this, it kind of looked like somebody else had a yellow ring with him, and he was flying next, like, you know, maybe like Hal was a diversion, and Sinestro went in, he took the yellow element and, you know, absorbed it, and, you know, flew out. That's how they got Parallax weak enough. That was my theory. But then if you see here, it looks like a shot, because it bursts out into like a flame effect, and it misses Hal. But I thought it would have been cool if, like, you think Hal's all alone, he's fighting by himself, but Hal's really a distraction, while Sinestro absorbs the yellow element and takes it and weakens Parallax, and then that's when they, you know, diffuse the situation. And then that could have been like a new origin to how Sinestro was introduced to the yellow element. Maybe, like, you know, he had a taste of it, and then he, you know, it kind of corrupted him. I think that would have been a cool, different take on how Sinestro got, you know, his yellow ring. This is a cool shot. We've already seen this shot of Hal with a Gatling gun, but that's just always cool to show. And then here goes Hal, seems to be using his ring to lift up something that's gonna fall on somebody. I don't know if that's Parallax or a building, but it kind of looks like Parallax. Either way, it looks kind of cool. And then here goes Hal using his ring to make a little shield, a little green orb to protect himself from something. And then that's when the trailer ends. Green Lantern, July 17th. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything for you too much of Hector Hamill dying. Hopefully you already expected that. and other stuff. Awesome trailer. If you haven't seen it, once again, I recommend you see it first and then watch this. But if you already watched this, then that's fine. Like I said, the link's below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thumbs up if you haven't thumbs up. Thanks for watching.